The U.S. Environmental Protection Agency recently published its final rule regarding the agency's Clean Power Plan, which is intended to reduce emissions of greenhouse gases in the U.S., specifically from existing electric generation facilities. The plan requires a 47% reduction in carbon dioxide emissions in Montana by 2030, the greatest reduction target among the lower 48 states. The 47% reduction target came as quite a surprise compared to the draft rule, which was asking Montana to reduce its emissions by 21%.
I think probably a lot of people might not be aware of. And we talk about carbon intensity of generation. Think about pounds of carbon for every megawatt hour of generation. And if you were just to look at the portfolio of resources we use to serve our Montana customers, our carbon intensity is already better right now, 2016, than the EPA target for the state of Montana in 2030. And that to me is also remarkable. But we can't just look at our portfolio of resources. The EPA target is a statewide target. And obviously in Montana, there's lots of generation for export. There's also generation to serve load within Montana that we don't provide through our own set of resources.
We've got a diversified portfolio now. It was less than 10 years ago when we were buying all of our power from the market. Now we own a significant portion of our generation, and it's from wind, a little bit of solar, a lot of hydro, and some coal. So it matches well, mixes well, and it helps provide a reliable and cost-effective electricity for our customers. The portfolio that we have is actually, if you would look at it just from our own portfolio as opposed to a state perspective, it's a very clean portfolio. In fact, it's already less than the EPA's mandate for 2030 for emissions. Unfortunately, our portfolio is just part of a bigger mix in Montana where there is a significant amount of coal generation. As such, we're going to have to adjust our portfolio most likely to be responsive to the EPA's mandate. We understand that moving forward, having a more and more clean portfolio is beneficial. It's beneficial for our customers, beneficial for our country. However, what the EPA has done with this Clean Power Plan is basically created a cliff where in 2022 we've got to have a significant change from a state perspective in how we generate electricity. That's going to have both reliability and cost effects. When we say that we have a capacity, that means we need to have as much power at an instantaneous moment to meet our customers' needs as possible. So when we say a resource is capable of producing 100 megawatts of capacity, that doesn't mean that every resource can produce that at any point in time. For example, wind generally runs at 30 to 40% of that total output on average. Now, thermal generation tends to run at a much higher level. In fact, during the cold spell that we had during Thanksgiving this last year, Colstrip was running at nearly 99% of its capability or its capacity. Unfortunately, our wind resources were operating at about 8 to 9% overall during those 5 critical days. We own 15% of Colstrip Unit 4, which is 220 megawatts. It's around 9% of the total complex. The rest of it is owned either by an independent power producer, an entity that sells power on the market to entities like our large customers in Montana, or else it's owned by out-of-state utilities. Yeah, I wish I could give you a real clear, definitive answer as to what the outcome is going to be. I can say that there is significant risk at the operation at Colstrip. We're working hard to preserve our ownership, and we'd like to see the remaining complex stay open for a while longer. The ultimate resolution of that is going to be either through the courts or through the governor, most likely in 2018 when they allocate allowances and that'll help decide what's economical and what stays open.
Kind of wrap it up, the five interests are really the general interest in the health of the Montana economy. Second, that our interest at Colstrip 4 is an important part of our portfolio. Third, our interest in the strength and the stability of the transmission system that serves our customers. Fourth, the value of Colstrip to the industrial customers that we don't serve. And then fifth and finally would be the fact that that revenue is credited back to our customers.
In February 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court voted to delay implementation of the Clean Power Plan until a decision on its legality can be made. That delay, called a stay, is temporary and does not mean the EPA rules won't eventually be enforced. When a full decision will be made is unclear. Northwestern leaders and employees continue to work closely with state leaders, agency officials, and many other stakeholders to develop an equitable state plan to meet the Clean Power Plan requirements.